Hello, good evening, and welcome back to authentic, original, and still the best CMO 102 Super League. We've had a fortnight away from the league action, at least, and what a whirlwind adventure that was. We did the group stages of the first ever Cmsl Cup and an impromptu transfer window with a lot more deals than anyone was expecting, causing absolute carnage, causing my beard to go nice and grey, trying to get them all done in time, and causing many, many sleepless nights. One man who tells me he was quite happy with the decision that seemed to catch a few people off guard is my co-commentator tonight, Mr. Dimble. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Fyfie. Good evening, lads.
How are you, pal?
I am very well, thank you.
Good. Good to be back.
Yourself?
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah, thank you. Keeping very well. Getting all set up for Christmas now, and getting the shopping done, things like that. But no, I'm keeping well. Thank you. Are you excited after the interruption of the cup and the chaos of the transfer window to be back in league action tonight?
Yeah, I am definitely. The cup was an unwelcome distraction for me and East Coast, but enjoyed it in a different way. It's just it was
as evidenced by your 0 points and what was it, -3 goal difference in 2 games.
Yeah, I was quite happy with the first performance, and the second time around it was just shit all round. But yeah, happy to be back in the league. Transfer bonus, massive 7 transfer window was welcome for me. Definitely feeling a better place now. Well, maybe not tonight, but by the next game week, hopefully. Buzzing for that.
I know you've still got a few to process because you got some later ones after I'd already done the first 750 of them this week. So yeah, I can imagine you are looking forward to it. For those watching, good evening, welcome, and please, while you're listening to the dulcet tones of Mr. Dimble, do keep an eye on the ticker along the bottom because there were a number of screenshots that I just simply ran out of time to post on the official feed. So it may be well worth you keeping an eye out for your team names cropping up and seeing what else is going on around your clubs. Of course, if Mr. Savage is around, the reserve games also got played. Those screenshots will go out to him probably tomorrow when I do the packs for game week 16. But let's get on with things. Let's just remind ourselves, mate, of where we are. So halfway stage in the table, Northern Burn currently top. You see it very handily in second, just 1 point behind. And then you've got, where are we? Casuals there, 3 points behind. Fulchester, Vikings, Bostock, all an additional point behind. Let's talk about East Coast first. Half the season done. You must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, chuffed with that. I've not even been that good, really, and I wasn't a massive fan of my own squad. Hopefully that will change in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, to sit second is a bit unreal, really. And I think some of the teams below me, maybe should be doing a little bit better than be above me. But it's a long season, isn't it? I'm hoping for a top 2 finish now, if I'm being honest. Whereas before the cup week and those games, I was probably hoping to just make the 6. But my aims have changed for the season.
And you sit here at the moment going into the second half of the season with the best defensive record in the league, just 11 conceded, one of only 2 clubs, I believe, there, who have conceded less than a goal per game.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Greavesy the myth is on 23 conceded there, look.
The defensive masterclass that is Greavesy.
Exactly.
Let's have a look further down the table. It remains very tight. So I mentioned there, Stanley in 6th on 22. Gazelle's a point behind, 21. Then you've got 3 teams there, Haggis, Celtics, Badgers, 19. So they're all within 3 points of the playoffs. Dragons there, they've, after going 10 games without a win, they've done very well the last few games. They've got themselves up to very handy 16. And for what looked like being a very arduous and long season, they're very much back in the mix, aren't they?
Yeah, Dragons are the team you don't want to play at the moment. See how it goes for the rest of the season, but there's always a team that puts a big run together, and they've started theirs already. Hopefully not too early for them. But probably down to, I think, PPP are probably out of it. Just knowing Rob, the absolute lunatic, is in charge. And yeah, I think above Dragons, everyone's got a chance from there on.
Former champion in charge of White Rose, they find themselves second bottom. Not a terrible defensive record, just don't score enough goals. And then we've mentioned it previously, but at the very start, when the first draw was made, Astor was said to be on paper one of, if not the strongest sides, and they find themselves at the bottom.
Yeah, Astor have been poor, really bad job so far for them. Steve, yeah, he's been pretty poor. Obviously, he must have been pretty bad to have 13 points after 14 games with the squad he's got. I've seen the deals he's done, and he looks like an absolute world-beating team on paper. So I think it'll be a temporary thing for them.
So I've got tonight's fixtures up on the screen. I have been asked to play Gazelles as late as possible, so Ghost Games permitting. We'll go in any order unless there's one you want to start with, but we'll obviously look to conclude with Coast versus Celtics, and we'll try and get Gazelles Badgers on near the end as well. Is there any particular game you'd like to start with?
I would avoid Casuals and Burn as well, because that's going to be a good one. So probably Astor Haggis is the lowest ranked one, is it?
Astor Haggis it is. Let's head there. And it's almost as if the game knew what you were going to say. So we're having a look here then at the Astor squad. Quick look at their transfers. You can see Zanetti in, Inzaghi in, Brown in, Brujink in. On the face of it, 4 very good players to add to anyone's squad.
Yeah, he's lost some good players, but I think the business is okay this time round. He's also got Materazzi coming in from me in the next week or so. So I think that gives him a bit more. That's his replacement for Montero, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's done okay business, and I think he's confident in the tactic he's got now. What he said he was.
Well, let's have a look at that tactic. It's a very Super League standard tactic that Astor are going with. The thing that instantly jumped out at me is Zanetti playing in a sort of right central role as opposed to out wide.
That is an interesting one. I think he's doing an okay job there, but he's wasted. Ortega is leaving the building, so I'll be watching him closely tonight. And I imagine Zanetti will be on that right-hand side for the rest of the season after tonight.
Ortega's an interesting one for those who were reading the ticker, because he's been criticised in the press or by TV pundit in the last day or two about his performances this season. So maybe a fresh new hope for him as well.
Yeah, a younger manager to work with fresher ideas, he might get on better.
So you mentioned that there were some big names leave Astor during the window, and obviously the window isn't shut yet. There's still another 5 game weeks, and there's still plenty of transfers to be done by just about every club, I think. The big one, I think, when you've seen the likes of Van Nistelrooy leave, is that they've still got Barry Ferguson, they've still got Ian Robben, they've still got Ndai as well.
Yeah, he was very keen to keep those. Anyone that tried to talk to him about transfers will know he was keeping those free. And I think everyone else was kind of up for grabs, which is sensible, really. They're very good players. But he's not getting the best out of them, so he could have maybe looked at something different. But yeah, I do like the shape. I think he's got some good players, and I do trust Al to get it right at some point. Just hoping it's not against me in a few weeks.
You'll notice watching along the ticker how close I was to running out of time, because I obviously set the banners up in alphabetical order of the games. So at this point, I've just abbreviated everything. LTO as in last time out, Res for reserves, and Pred for predictions. Whereas when we get to Dragons, which was the first one, it's all listed nice and neatly in full words and stuff. So in case anyone was wondering what LTO, etc. was, that is the answer to that question. Let's have a look at the home side as we get Zanetti is class anywhere. Ortega 6-month broken leg incoming.
Possibly, yeah. I'm guessing that transfer won't go through then, would it?
Not if he gets injured tonight, it won't. That's for sure. Let's have a look at Haggis, shall we? And see what they have to offer. Very quiet. And the transfer front, nothing done at all. And hence the moaning and complaining that I saw. Although I did also note that I saw a load of managers say that Ian would have been better suited doing the transfers himself, just to put in the realms of the world that even I, who don't have a club, got a DM from Rox about transfers as well, clarifying the out of league situation. So Rox very much in charge of transfer related business. On the pitch though, very well, basically what you'd expect from Haggis with no one coming in. They pretty much look how they've looked for the most part of the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think he said he's going to give Live some game time, which he's doing. He said he's going to give Okaranko some game time, which he hasn't done. But it's the same Haggis, and they looked quite dangerous before we broke up. Ian's moaning because he hadn't got transfers done. Basically, if he'd have done some deals, he'd be happy. Ironically, he's a very, very happy man. I met him last week, and a very, very positive man, very friendly. And then he gets on Twitter and he gets typing, and he turns into the grumpiest bastard alive.
How was Edinburgh?
It was really good. Yeah, it was really good. Well worth the 5-hour trip.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. Live over media is nuts.
You always have to try and guess what Steve's typing, don't you?
Let's head to kick-off and ask you for your first prediction of the evening, please.
I think I went 2-1 home win on this one, so I'll just stick with that.
Okay, so we kick off the second half of the season with Haggis at home to Astor. 20 minutes already gone, very little in the way of opportunities. Haggis have arguably shaded the play so far. Good opportunity there and a rebound attempt. And there's Rossini. Oh, it's been disallowed. He was offside. 41 minutes now on the clock, heading into injury time. Vicious 4 minutes. And Astor, Robin's goal disallowed. Viduka offside. And set piece. One last chance, maybe. No. So 2 goals disallowed. And we go into half-time 0-0.
That was quite positive stuff from Haggis. Quite an entertaining 0-0 so far. Rossini was one that nearly came to East Coast, but didn't in the end. So I'm keen to see how he's getting on for the rest of the season. But yeah, it's a good 0-0. It's a good attacking performance from Haggis so far. Creating lots. Yeah,
they've definitely come across in what text there was as the busier and more dominant side. Let's have a look at their ratings. 7s throughout, just 1-6 there. That's for Scholl in the middle of the pitch. He is going one-on-one with Barry Ferguson. Elbert, the pick of the players so far.
Yeah, Elbert's been very good so far in this save, and he did absolutely fuck all for Churchtown with me. But yeah, I know he's a good player. It was a bad save for him, I think. Scholl letting him down a little bit, but apart from that, it's a good performance so far.
As for Astor, let's have a look at theirs. The goalkeeper obviously putting in a good performance. Looking around the sort of midfield area, and Di Ferguson doing reasonably well. Again, it's the further forward you get Robin there, 6, Brugink 6, Viduka 6.
Yeah, they've not been involved enough, have they? That's the problem, just not getting the ball up. Barely any touches in that half. So if Alf was here, which I don't think he is he?
I have seen him in the chat, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Early on, so I'm guessing he's typing now. As is still 60. Cool, let's go.
So both managers
he needs to create more. I think if he carries on like this, Haggis will get a goal, I think. But still plenty of time left for both teams.
Absolutely. And there's Haggis, and it is Elbert who opens the scoring. And then skipper Tony Adams, just a minute later, going off injured. You mentioned in the build-up that Okoronkwo was due some game time. Now is as good an opportunity as any.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's one I was interested in, but I didn't have the right player to give to Ian for him, so he doesn't come in the end. But he's one I like very much. Yeah. He's a little bit. He can be a little bit touchy, can't he? He can be a bit of a moody cunt sometimes, and he's not always consistent. But I think he's got a very good save in him every now and again.
Absolutely. Hodgie, as is still 60, sticking with my 40. Just waiting for Ian to confirm that he's happy with Okoronkwo, and we will resume the action. Huge goal it was for Elbert to open the scoring. Now we're going to see what this Astor team really are made of, because Haggis continuing to look the stronger of the two sides.
Yeah, he just wants to swap his centre-backs over and we're good to go. Yeah, that makes sense to me as well. But yeah, they built a better team, so I wouldn't be changing anything else at 60 if I was Ian.
And another opportunity to double the lead goes wasted. But there it is, it's 2-0, and it's Rossini. A yellow card. We've reached the hour mark. Jens there saying Elbert season 1 is class. Well, he has shown it so far today. And Rossini's rating rocketing up to a 10 there, look, as well. Clearly enjoying himself in the second half. We got Hodgie saying Okoronkwo over Adams from the off for me. Ian happy to roll. Let's go over to Astor, who want an arrow on Brugink already. When you look at, Jens Novotny there really struggling. He's on a 5. Brugink at the other end also on a 5. When you look at the subs bench, is there much there to change it for them and get back in the game?
That's a really poor looking subs bench, actually, isn't it? Not great. Donovan's the only one that may be able to do something. Powell's a decent player, but he's not going to change the game for you, I imagine. Yeah, it's a really poor performance so far from Astor. Those ratings were appalling, really.
Rossini, I regret not taking for Mendonca now. Was that if that was on the table and you haven't taken that?
I think that would have been a rocks offer. Ian reject. That's how it usually works.
Did anyone watch the R9 doc on BBC4 the other night?
No, but I am very looking forward to watching that. It looks really good. Have you seen the trailer for it?
No.
It's called Phenomenon. I can't say that word.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenon.
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks really good. I'm looking forward to watching it. Loads of highlights of him, loads of interviews with people who played with him and managed him. Yeah, it looks really good.
It goes without saying, he was an unbelievable player in his peak, wasn't he?
Those first kind of, I don't know when he got his first big injury, but those first few years when he moved to Europe and then played in Holland and went to Barca, he was unplayable.
Mm-hmm. Completely.
He looked like he was playing a different game on the highlights you watch of him. He looks like he's playing a different game on like Calfield as well.
No, absolutely. And he just had the ability to do everything, couldn't he? Because he wasn't the biggest guy, but he would win his fair amount in the air, but he was also silky along the ground. He had pace, strength, everything. Yeah,
he was like Haaland with a bit of Messi thrown in, wasn't he? That's what I see. The way he could go past people.
Where's Alf gone?
He's put no other changes. Arrow on Brugink, yeah.
I didn't even see the no other changes one. Oh, there it is.
Just come through.
Okay, let's resume the action then. 2-0 to the home side. 10 minutes goes by with nothing happening. Astor are starting to create a little bit. But is that because Haggis are allowing them to try and catch them on the break? 4 minutes to be added on. We're into 2 of those already. Haggis really should have had a third in injury time, but full-time whistle goes. And Haggis, a very much deserved and a very dominant 2-0 home win to kick us off tonight.
That is a class performance from Campbell there and Haggis. Very, very good.
This is why he hasn't done any transfers.
We had some drunken conversations about how much the Super League means to him, and I know he'll be absolutely buzzing with that. And
how much does it mean to him for those of us who weren't there?
It means a lot. It means a lot to all of us. It's weird, isn't it, how much it means, to be honest. It's very fucking weird. We are all losers at the end of the day, but...
Rossini picks up man of the match for his performance. Elbert maintained his 9 rating, 8s throughout, no one below a 7, and a 2-0 win. Is this as close to perfection as you can get?
Yeah, who needs transfers? Look at that team he's got.
Alf saying, roll on Materazzi. Is that the area of weakness in defence? Because they didn't create anything.
He's certainly unsure on his best centre-half pairing. I think he'll know that after the transfers are in, so that helps him. But then if that doesn't work, then what's he going to do? Play another one? Has he got any more left? It'll be Philip Maxwell's next, won't it?
On that point, I think it was Duggan actually said in the comments, I'll just scroll back up. Yeah, I reckon Astor have played the most centre halves, as in different players all season.
Yeah, I was tempted. I was trying to take one off him as part of the deal we made, but in the end, I just thought, no, I went and got one from somewhere else. So yeah, he's used a lot. Most of them are pretty average. A couple of them are okay, but he's definitely struggling all over the pitch at the moment.
Well, congratulations, Haggis, who resumed league action with a fantastic 2-0 win. Where are we going next? We're going to Gazelles. And we're not. No, we're not. We wanted to leave them late, didn't we? Hang on.
Oh, yeah, sorry. What was the other one that was a bit lower down?
Who have Rose got? Bostock. Yeah, we could do that one.
Yeah, go for that, yeah.
That's fine. Rose, Stanley. So we can see their last time out. Stanley won 3-1. Reserves drew 3-3 in the week, and Stanley overwhelming favourites in this fixture. Let's have a look though at the home side first. And on the transfer front, where have we? I mean, it's a ridiculous array of players that he's managed to sign, isn't it? We've got Luca Toni, who we've seen him do bits with in the past. Patrick Vieira, widely regarded as one of, if not the best on the game. Joe Cole, very capable season one, only gets better. Walter Samuel, very established Super League player. And Guerrero as well, who has some Super League pedigree about him. What have you made of these deals?
Yeah, he's done some really good deals. I think Samuel's probably top 2 centre-backs. Vieira's probably top 2 defensive midfielders in the whole league. And then he's got, like you say, he's got Tony, who will get better, Cole, who will get better, Guerrero will get injured. And he's obviously got 2 more coming in. I think one of them's Jordic, and you have to refresh my memory on the other one. But yeah, he's done a very good business. He's lost some good players. He's obviously lost Veron and Dyer, which is obviously 2 big players, but he's bought.
So leaving the club, Joey Johnson and Kieran Dyer have gone to Badgers. Decor and Veron have gone to Casuals. Smertin's been snapped up by Dragons, and Taibbi's been allowed to go to Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, Taibbi for Cole, obviously Greasy was desperate for a keeper. He's identified Taibbi, but Cole's a very good pick-up for a keeper, I think. One that he wasn't playing either. So yeah, it's a loss, but it's not a big loss, and I think the others are manageable. Veron wasn't playing great. Dyer is a big miss for me. That's probably the biggest miss, but he's got Zanoni coming in from us, so he's got a replacement. Maybe not as good, but a replacement.
Well, let's have a look at tonight's tactics. And the thing that most intrigued me, looking back at Super League gone by, Hussein and Tony up front together, if this works, could be unbelievable.
In that legendary 3-game spell at Churchtown for Luca Toni, he did all right, yeah. I think Tony got 8, Hussein got goals. And it should work, because it's 2 biggish men, but one's fast. One's a bit of a team player, and both can finish. So yeah, it should work if you can get those crosses in the box.
Of all the, and I'll be honest, I've not paid too much attention to the deals I need to process yet. But the one thing that did make me chuckle about this Rose squad is I think they do look incredibly strong. I mean, Samuel and Lucio as centre backs is as good a partnership as anyone's going to put out, really. It did make me laugh, though, that despite all of this seeming Galacticos almost that Steve is gathering, Ronnie Johnson continues to get a holding midfield role in the team.
Yeah, well, Vieira's obviously suspended tonight, but look at Johnson's numbers. He looks great. If you take his name off the top and look at his form, I suppose he's got a 5 and a 6 thrown in there, but he was getting 8s quite regularly. So he's a good player. He's not one you want to be starting.
He's certainly not Vieira, though, is he? It's
definitely not. No, and he's lost some good players in defensive midfield. Actually, he's left himself a little bit light there by the looks of it. But
perhaps he's looking at one, or has he got anyone in here? I mean, Owen Hargreaves maybe. Fernando down there as well.
Yeah, he's short of quality, but he can always switch formation. He'll probably go to 2 centre mids, 1 DM when he gets his full team back.
Let's have a look then at Bostock Stanley. And Scott is not here. So what I will do actually, if I can, Dimble, is I will read out the instructions he's left so that you can remind me of them, and then no one thinks I'm doing anything that hasn't been requested. Because he sent me, he's watching the comedian whose name escapes me. It's something Chowdhury.
Paul?
Yes, I believe it is Paul. Yeah, I'm not about that much tonight. Going to see Paul Chowdhury. No subs unless there's an injury. Mield covers DMC or MC. Saeed can drop and cover DC. Strand any AMC. Collins any striker. Collins for Montella at 60 if they're 2 goals up or Montella is on a 6. Is the rules.
I think I can remember that. Yeah.
Malewski was expected to play, but much like the Vieira deal, in fact, did he not? He's also come from casual. Hodgie's just sold every suspended player he's got.
It's a smart move for a very short smart
one. And then payback for the Ayala season 5, says Hodgie.
Yeah, was it tonight he's got Zambrotta and Varane playing instead of suspended? Vieira not bad.
So Scott had planned to use the narrow. He tried it out in the CMSL Cup as well. He stuck with it. But when he puts his first team in it, it does look quite spectacular, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it looks a bit weaker than it did at the start of the season. He has done some deals that make him look weaker on paper, but he'll be probably expecting the same kind of output from players like Jax. And stuff like that. But yeah, narrow's a bold move. He told me he was going to do that. It's a bit of a bold move, especially with the kind of position he's in. But I suppose it's not been working great so far. So
No,
it's
absolutely
worth a go. I know it's done well for him before.
Let's head to the game then and ask you for your prediction, please.
I went home win. I knew that Bostock had played the narrow beforehand. So I've gone a home win 2-1.
Okay, 2-1. Worth noting, the date there would have been the day before my 12th birthday. This fixture.
So young.
Thank you. I don't look it with the amount of fucking grey in my hair and beard, though, let's be honest. Jens predicting 3-1 Rose win. But there's Montella to give Stanley a 1-0 lead. Joe Cole getting involved, Hussein and Tony between them. Khan with a fine save. And it's 2-0 to the away side. Cabello with his first Stanley goal. Announced 7 out of league transfers, and I'll be interested. No, I'm not announcing any more transfers. Everyone's had plenty of transfers. I will not be engaging in that bollocks anymore. Nicky Franco with the latest opportunity, heading towards half-time. Oh, and it was so nearly free for the away side. It is free. It's Carlos Jax who scores. Everyone was so confident in this Rose side, but Bostock showing them how it is done. I mean, Rose has certainly been in the game, Dimble, but Stanley are just, when they're on it, they are on it.
Yeah, from my Friday morning and Monday morning WhatsApps from Steve, I know this has happened to him quite a lot this season, where he's on paper looked like he's been a better team, but got beat. Not 3-0 though, so that is impressive by Bostock. 3-0 at half time. Yeah, it looks ominous for Steve, and it kind of points to me sometimes the game just fluctuating. Like, it's decided this season that White Rose aren't going to be very good, even though he's got a good team. He's probably not doing anything different tactically to his title winning season. He's got a good team. He's not playing bonkers stuff at the minute, which you might see that soon. But yeah, sometimes I like it. I think it likes to just fuck one team up.
And what's interesting is the symmetry. I mean, if you see the ticker, Stanley scored 3 goals against them in the first game. In the reserves, they scored 3 goals, and they've already scored 3 here tonight. Let's bring the Rose stats up. As Dimble as Steve says, exact same Dimble. Although he's used a very creative Z in the exact for no obvious reason. Despite conceding 3, Pellizzoli isn't rated particularly lowly. There's no discipline issues, no fitness concerns, so it's purely tactical. And the one thing that jumps out is how little Nicky Butt is involved in this game, considering how much Bostock have attacked.
Yeah, he's not been very good, has he? He's been pretty shit, to be honest. Gary Neville's doing bits though, so if Steve wants to change his Zanoni to someone else, David Johnson, from that transfer, then I'm happy to do that. It's not been processed yet. It's not the worst performance, but it's not looking very good stat-wise for the players.
I'm sure there's a Macca-shaped interest in a poor Nicky Butt. That is for sure. Let's have a look.
David Johnson, then.
Let's have a look at Stanley then. I don't think we need to worry about any of the rules here. No one performing poorly. There's no injuries and no fitness concerns. Ibrahim Saeed on a 9, the pick of the bunch, but so many 8s dotted around that team.
That's a very good performance. And Yepes is just on a 6 because he's not had to do much by the looks of it. He's got a cigar on and slippers at the back.
Nicky Butt is coming off for Sylvain Legwinski. Only in the Super League.
Yeah. I don't blame him, to be honest, but I think Butt was one he wanted to get rid of, but he didn't have the right offer for him, so he hasn't. And I can understand why.
Let's resume the action and see if Rose can at least play for a bit of pride, if not get themselves back into it. There's an early opportunity. More opportunities. Oliver Kahn is just refusing to be beaten tonight, thus far anyway. Here comes Stanley looking for a 4th. And they get their 4th, and it's Cabello again. And it's 5, Del Piero. Fucking hell. White Rose are being ripped apart. Wow. Pellizzoli has now dropped to a 4. How do you explain how this team is losing 5-0?
I don't know. I don't think I can, to be honest. I'm not a professional pundit, you know, but I do not know how that's happened.
It'd be interesting to see the job you've done on the editor here, because we didn't get any sackings in the last iteration, but we've already seen boards getting very unhappy with certain teams, and I can't imagine the White Rose board are going to be best pleased with this.
I think because the league's got a high reputation this time, I think the boards are going to be a bit more brutal. So I can see some stackings come in. I think every time I've run through a test, there's been at least 2 or 3 clubs that have lost managers. So yeah, it's definitely coming, boys. And White Rose will be one of the first ones.
Macca wants a Super League away day at the end of the season, and then claims Nicky Butt will only play for him.
Yeah, I got to admit, I got rid of Butt because I drafted him, and I started doing some saves, testing them out, and I couldn't get anything out of him. He was pretty shit for me, so maybe he's just pining for Macca, which is understandable because he's a lovely man.
Tay just fucking keep us. In Oslo, Mrs. will give me a tight line for months now after coming home with a wound on half. What happened to Jens's face?
Yeah, I didn't see it, but he apparently jumped up and headed clearance, but it was a disco ball. So he's got rid of he's got the indent of disco ball on his forehead. It looks brilliant.
The fuck?
He's chaotic on the piss, as you'd imagine. He was very, very good fun, very good quality.
Like Vinsky's only been given 20 minutes. Guerrero for Lewinsky, Ronnie central, yeah. Nicky up top. A bit like that. Is that what we're saying? We'll drink in the forest, it's cheaper.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the right instructions.
Just It looks that way, unless, of course, he wants Luca Toni in the middle as the sort of target man. Is the narrow formation not an Asta favourite?
It was early seasons, wasn't it?
If you come for the Marina, let me know weeks in advance. Expensive as fuck, said Jens. Oh, God. Super League trip to Oslo, indeed. No need to slow this one down. Oh, hang on. He said if they were 2 up, didn't he?
What was he doing for the 2 up? I can't remember that one.
Collins for Montella if they're 2 goals up.
Okay.
Or he's on a 6. Look at all these 9s now.
Yeah.
Wow. No need to slow this one down because.
No, stop it. He's already dead.
Yeah, exactly. Fatneck getting a pasting, says Wood. Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Wood always pops up at the right times, doesn't he?
Dims was a gentleman, says Ian. Of course he was. It's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet.
Everyone was sound because there's obviously some big personalities, and like Macca's comes across as some kind of chaotic madman destroying the whole place, but he was absolutely sound, and same can be said for everyone. A bigger meetup is needed somewhere closer than Edinburgh, I think.
Steve Wright asking, is that the best performance ever?
In terms of like player ratings, it might be. I don't know.
Stop. They're already dead.
Yeah, the Simpsons ref, yeah.
Let's have a look at Rose then. Pelizzoli did manage to get back up to a 6. Somehow, Gary Neville and Dede have rated 9s.
It's because they were very fucking busy. How was they so busy? There was no one up against them.
Maybe that's why they did so well, because they just had the freedom of the pitch.
Well, just knocking it over and passing it to each other. Chipping it over the whole of the Bostock team and then chipping it back again. Spraying passes.
Steve Wright says stats can fuck off. Player ratings, I meant.
Yeah.
What? The stats and the player ratings can fuck off, can they?
Those match stats weren't horrific, were those? Like, any couple of shots less. But I imagine when you click onto the Bostock Stanley, he's just got he's probably taking the piss with the 9s and 8s and 10s.
Steve's been dead excited the last 24 hours.
Yeah. It does keep you in the nuts, this game, doesn't it?
You're right, Steve. That's not a 6-0 performance. You lost 5-0. Those ratings are absolutely crazy, he says. Right. This is a Super League. You never know what you're going to get. You've got a team that's actually performed quite well with decent ratings, and they've been absolutely smacked. Yeah. Everyone's now pointed out as well that there's Ian. No, it was 5 Steve. There's Ross. That's a 5-0 performance. Steve is not happy, by the way.
No, he'll be fuming. I know he will. And I'll have to down off a ledge very shortly, I imagine. I
mean, I said that Oliver Kahn was refusing to be beaten. His rating proves. Aymar getting a 10 and not even getting man of the match tells you everything. Hodges rate, the game hates us this season. Even Davy Collins come on and got a 7. Palazzoli banned from Yorkshire, says Rox. I mean, I described the Haggis performance as close to perfect as you could get. But this is just exceptional, isn't it?
Yeah, as an away performance against a good-looking team to win 5-0 is mad. He's got 5 9s, 2 10s. Is it 3 8s? Yeah, he's absolutely bossed that. And Bostock will be scary as fuck if they start playing like that, because there's not many teams that can stop
that. Steve's building for next season.
Yeah, if he wants to change Zanoni for David Day or something, he can do. Because Gary Neville's playing absolute blind there, Steve.
And for the benefits of Macca, who asked what a Cabello is, this is what a Cabello is.
And he looks really good, I think. It's a good version of him. He's like always dangerous on the home save, but he looks like a good version, and I would like him in my squad.
Proper sock destroyer, that match.
Yeah, I think we should get the scissors out, Steve. Give the public what they want.
I'm looking forward to some video content, but huge congratulations. Scott, I hope by the time you've watched this, I hope you had a very enjoyable evening. I'm sure this will make you smile some more. As for Steve, back to the drawing board. Very unlucky because you performed quite well there. You were just never going to obviously win that game. Next up, shall we go to Who would be playing who? Who've Triple P got? Vikings Triple P, maybe?
Good choice, yeah. Let's do this one.
Yeah. Let's flash that one up. So last time out, Vikings won 2-0. The reserve shared a 3-3 draw midweek, and only 2 people predicting Rob to get the win tonight. Steve says he's grown up. No reaction video at all.
No one wants that. We want it.
If Steve's grown up, then maybe when his virtual self is sacked from the Super League, he just leaves and lets someone childish come and rejoin the fun.
That's an interesting proposal. I don't think he'd be up for it though.
Triple P then, let's have a look at their transfers. Almeida in, Emerson in, and the big one, Crespo in. The fans very excited by that signing. As for outs, they've lost Rustico, they've lost Beckham, they've lost Mpenza. Would it be unfair to suggest that I think they're probably weaker?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Rob has done some nuts deals. I don't blame him for getting rid of Mpenza, but he probably could have got a little bit more. I don't think he's bothered though. If he sees a player he doesn't want anymore and someone offers him a player he likes, he's just going to take them, which is an interesting way to do it when we take it this seriously. But yeah, I think Rob is Rob. I've done a deal with him today as well, which gives him Brozek, so that'll help him out going forward. So yeah, it's a weaker looking team than he had at the start, but I think Rob will be happier that he's got Crespo in than Mpenza, who was not doing anything for him.
Crespo and Emerson come straight into the starting 11. Almeida gets a place on the bench. If you look at them from last time out, they've pulled the 2 wider strikers back and they've given the wing backs longer arrows. There's Rob. Beckham doesn't fit the system and Mpenza is doing nothing.
Yeah, I think Emerson's a good. I think Emerson for Beckham wasn't a bad deal at all, actually, because obviously Beckham wasn't going to play at wing back. He's shit in centre mid, so Emerson's a good player. So that all made sense, and that's like saying the Mpenza all made sense, but he probably could have squeezed a bit more out of it if he wanted to. I don't think that, as I said, I don't think that interests him. He don't get as much fun out of squeezing value out of deals as half the league does.
Kevin Hoffland only getting a place on the bench, featured in the majority of games this season, but not exactly hitting the heights that's expected of him.
He's not, no, but he's going to look sexy in white and green, isn't he?
Is that where he's off, is it?
It is, yeah. I'm looking forward to having him. I think him and Campbell will be a good partnership for a good few years, so I'm hoping to get the best out of him. 692 is not a good rating, but anything above 7 will be okay for me, I imagine.
Okay. Let's assign these players some numbers. As for Vikings, it's been an interesting campaign because they struggled to do deals. Then all of a sudden they brought in Van Bommel, Volodenkov and Totti. And now they've added Hersey, Welsh and Mpenza into the mix as well. In terms of outgoings, Saviola and Crespo have left during this phase of transfers. Do we think, again, I personally obviously rate Mpenza because of my time, and I've seen Crespo fail time and time again. Hersey and Welsh coming in, Saviola going out. Is that a good deal? I'm not so. I think Vikings are about cutting even.
I think, yeah, on kind of like paper, when you write the team out and then you look at it, it's got Totti in it now, it's got Van Bommel, the bigger names, and the challenge is getting as much out of them as there were the players that were there before. So it's not straightforward. Like, it looks like he's got a better team, it's going to work. But I think they've done good business. I do think they've done good business.
Good window for the Pools Pikings, says Rob. Mpenza and Crespo to score, says Alf. It is a change of formation for the Vikings. Walker, who has had a very, very good campaign, first Super League season for him, now has a partner in centre midfield. Again, it's kind of this triangle here I'm looking at, and Pens are playing with a partner. Some people don't like it. I actually like Alan Smith. I think this could work quite well. It's this four here. Obviously, Cannavaro, one of the out-and-out best centre-backs available. And none of these players are terrible players, but I just wonder, by comparison and what they're going to be coming up against, is this enough to protect Costanza?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think you need kind of 3 elite players to pull this off properly. You might get lucky, and Desai can be really busy and do loads of things. Kamara's been okay, but yeah, I think in the long run this wouldn't work out for them. But in the odd game week it might. He's just been in Edinburgh, hasn't he? And he's just met Campbell. I wonder whether he took his phone off him and forwarded some tactic files off his Google Mail. Because he's come back from Edinburgh and he's got a haggis formation.
It's the Vikings' new revolutionary. Well, let's see how this one goes. Eagle guess number 9. Oh, and it's ghost gamed as well. Of course it has. Oh, well, we go to Dragons Fulchester instead. Dragons Fulchester, as I say, they get the much neater written out banner for their game. So we said in the intro that Dragons have been in much better form. They've won their last 4. They've stopped conceding 3 goals like they had been. Sorry, Jens. Even kept a clean sheet 2 games ago. They didn't feature in the cup either, whether that matters or not. The irony, and I mean this sincerely, I don't mean it to sound like I'm taking a piss. The irony that Duggan has done the fewest deals of anybody when he's been moaning and crying and whining every week, asking for transfers. And to his credit, when I says to him, "Have you definitely only done 1?" and he said, "Not for want of trying."
Yeah, no, I think he's been very active. He's not pulled the trigger over much. That's the problem. He's got some good players. I think he wants to keep hold of his best players, which is understandable. I think if he'd have not won the last 3 or 4 games, whatever it is, he probably would have done a lot more. But yeah, it is ironic. But he's got a very good team. He doesn't need to do that much to it, but he's struggling to find the pieces to finish it off. I know he wanted left wing back off me, but I wasn't willing to pay the price. I wanted Bowie off him. I wasn't willing to pay the price. So it's one of them where he's determined to get value from his deals, and I think that's a good thing in a way. But then it messes you up in terms of getting things done.
As for Fulchester, they have done a few deals, and we see a few of them in the squad tonight. So Saha, Nakata, Balak, you obviously know very well. Carew also come in from Celtics. As for players out, they've lost Effenberg, they've lost Petkov, they've lost Mendes to Silva. I mean, they're not exactly the Vieiras and the Verons of the world, but Mac has made no qualms that he never had the luxury players that some of the other teams had, in his opinion. I actually think he's done all right. Yeah,
it's difficult when you haven't got the assets to trade, and it's very hard to get better players in. I went through it at Churchtown, my first kind of season to it at Churchtown. I struggled to make a difference, and in the end, if it's not working, you just have to blow it up. But Macca's in 4th. He didn't need to make any vast changes. I've taken 2 players off him that weren't playing, and he's put one on the pitch and one on the bench tonight. So I'm interested. I wasn't bothered about Balak really. Nakata I like, and I would like to have seen him play, but was okay losing him. Sahar was only ever going to be 3rd choice, and I'd play 1 striker, whereas he plays 2. So it makes sense for him to bring those players in. It gives him that a bit more depth. But yeah, he's getting good numbers out of a few of these players. So if he keeps doing that, then he's going to get in the 6.
That's due to the Seydorf. Batistuta and Seedorf on their way back from long-term injuries, not quite fit enough yet. As you say, Nakata comes straight into the team. Balak and Carew go onto the bench. Owen is chosen to partner Vieri for this one. It's an interesting one, isn't it? The strikers, but to credit where it's due to Michael Owen, who's widely regarded as one of the big flops in the Super League, 5 goals, 5 assists in 7 starts and 6 sub appearances. Vieri, less spectacular, 3 goals, 1 assist in 10 starts. Batistuta obviously had long-term injury. He was out for 2 months, I think it was. Still got 4 goals in 10 starts. So it's not a bad record at all.
Yeah, you'd back Maka to get decent numbers out of most strikers. He's always been entertaining. He's always scored loads of goals. He's always conceded a few, but been solid enough. And that to get 10 goal contributions out of Owen from 7 starts is very, very good. I don't think there's anyone else in the league that can probably do that.
No, I agree. Numbers assigned. Vieri will captain Fulchester. A score prediction, please, sir.
I went 2-1 home win on Swan's prediction, so I'll say that.
2-1 home win. And already Archer Back has given the home side the lead. Not the start Maka will want to see. But it's 1 apiece. Alex levels things up on 16 minutes as Maka predicts a 3-1 defeat. Well, you've certainly got the 1, mate. So you could be correct. And it's 2-1. Ronaldinho gives Dragons the lead again. Can Fulchester come from behind again? And if so, will it be before the break? Michael Owen with the latest opportunity. And another one there. But we get to half time and it is 2-1 to the Dragons. It looked like there were a few more chances created, but it does ring true that it was fairly even first half.
I didn't see much of it, but it looks pretty uneventful, but very clinical.
That's probably the best way of describing it. Let's have a look at the home team stats first. You've got Liam Kyo there rating a 9. You've also got Ronaldinho rating a 9 up further the pitch. Nesta and Gerard, the lowest rated on 6s, no yellow cards, and nobody there below 90%. I would be surprised if Dragons didn't just leave it till 60. Yeah,
there's no real reason to change that. The bench isn't stacked with obvious replacements for those players that aren't playing. He's got a bad Nesta. Nesta's been shit so far.
He certainly has.
But Lee Young-Pyo is absolutely balling at that wing back.
As for Fulchester, well, Abbiati 5, Ambrosini 5, Valgarin 5. It looks a lot less attractive than what the Dragons had, doesn't it?
Yeah, and those 2 5s, outfield 5s, they're big players for Maka. He likes Valgarin, and Ambrosini's probably his best player so far, I think. I don't know, well, maybe Mikael's been a bit better, but that's bad. And obviously the Abbiati transfer has just not worked out for him at all.
Carew coming on for Vieri at half-time.
Yeah, why not? Big John, cause some havoc. He's a good player. I like Carew.
Would you expect any further changes at half-time?
No, I don't think Balak's better than Mikel Gattuso, unless he takes Ambrosini off and shifts Balak forward. But yeah, no, I don't think I would.
Drop Gattuso back, maybe.
Yeah, that would make sense, but I'd trust Ambrosini to get better second half.
Well, we will just wait the confirmation coming through from Mac. There we go. We'll go to 60. So Carew is on. See if he can make the difference. Keane goes into the book. Another opportunity for the home side. And there's 3-1. It's Bowyer. Maka did predict a 3-1 loss. It's 3-2. Luis Enrique pulls one back, and it is game on. Look at these ratings. Leon Pio's gone up to a 10. Back there, still rating a 9. Keen on a yellow card. No obvious still fitness concerns. Dragons players obviously enjoyed their Christmas break. Do you think that second goal just gives Duggan something to think about?
Yeah, probably. I don't know if I'd change it still though. I think they're a better team, but Fulchester just won't go away. They're obviously dangerous still. Yeah, it's a tough one to call that. I'm not sure. I think because the back players are playing pretty well, I will leave it.
Duggan is saying as is until 60. Abiati dropped to a 4. Despite scoring, Enrique is on a 5.
Interesting.
Valgaren's still on a 5 as well. Conditional-wise, Enrique is on the lowest at 81. Maybe Balak comes on. Does he tweak it slightly and bring Mendes on, offer a bit more defensive cover? It'd be interesting to see what comes next from Maka.
It would usually be a 3 up top. That's what I would imagine, but he said Balak.
Balak for Enrique, swap with Raquelme. No problem at all. I believe that's likely to be it, but we'll just give Mac 30 seconds in case he wants to do a third change. I think that substitution makes sense despite the goal.
Yeah, get your most effective player further forward. It could cause an upset here with an unexpected equaliser, maybe.
He's put cheers, let's lose 4-2.
You might as well.
Aliati with a save into the final 20 minutes. Here comes Keane. Ronaldinho now. Constantino has a pot shot. And on a rebound, Abiati with a double save. Gonna argue with my wife now for no reason. Abiati is a dosser. He's just done a fantastic double save. Constantino fails to convert into the final 10. Do Fulchester have one last chance in them? Time ticking away. Here come Dragons again with Leon Pio. Free kick awarded. Ronaldinho takes it. And here they come again. Nesta feeds Gerrard out to Cafu. Prasini again. He goes into the book. Into injury time. And there's the final whistle. Fulchester just running out of steam, running out of ideas. And Dragons probably looking at those stats deserving of the 3 points.
Yeah, very much so. They've been good again. Abiati's obviously, if he plays better, then Fulchester might have a chance. But yeah, on those stats, it looks like it should have been a home win, and it was. Very good performance again. Is that 5 on the bounce?
5 on the bounce, yeah. Looking at the stats, unsurprisingly, you pointed out at half-time, and we spoke about it during the 60-minute mark as well. Leon Pio getting man of the match. His rating did drop from a 10 to a 9, but still put in a fantastic performance. Archie back there maintaining his 9 as well.
Yeah, I don't think back's been great, so that's good for Duggan to see back playing well. The Leon Pio 9 makes him a bit more steadier in the transfer market. He's not going to sell the house. I think if he'd got 6 or 5 tonight, he'd been selling the house for a left wing back maybe. But yeah, it's a very good performance. Obviously, he's concerned about the 2 centre backs, but I imagine he'll be looking for a centre back in the market if he can get one.
And he's also got a loan available as well now because he's turned the Smerting deal into a perm. Abiati got his rating up to a 6. We saw he did a few good saves towards the end of the game. Ambrosini dropped to a 5 alongside Valgarin. And that's kind of what you were saying earlier, wasn't it, for Fulchester? It's just a case of their big players that Maka tends to trust haven't turned up tonight. Yeah,
that's very disappointing because I think he would trust Valgarin and probably, I don't know his opinion on Ambrosini, but I know most people like him. I would trust him as well, so it's disappointing to see that. He's just missed some tackles and he's not won any headers and he's got a yellow card. So it's not like he's a terrible player all of a sudden, but it's not a good performance.
I think that's a very fair reflection. But congratulations to Dragons, who, as Dimble pointed out, make it 5 wins on the bounce. Next up, how many more games have we got here? We go to Casuals versus Burn, which is there. Last time out, Burn winning 2-0. The reserves, Northern Burn, also won 3-0. Very tight in the predictions, though, in Swans Super 7. Let's have a look at Northern Burn then, who have added just Montero to the ranks during this latest transfer window. But they'd done some awesome business earlier in the year to improve their squad. In terms of outs, Inzaghi and Brown it was who went in the opposite direction. I mean, it's neither here nor there. What they have done is they've replaced Brown with a better player. I mean, I'm a Wes Brown fan, but Montero is obviously a fantastic, and Inzaghi's never going to get in over Sigalko anyway. So I can understand what Burn have done there. They have upgraded.
Yeah, this 2-for-1 deal is, I don't know if it's in favour of Burn. Every other transfer has been in favour of Ian so far. So that's why he's gone from one of the worst looking teams to one of the better looking teams in the league. I love that front three. I love it. I love Jeremy's, obviously. 2 impacts are great. So yeah, it's just a good team. And yeah, I know Ian's going to be making some more moves. So by the end of this window, if he does 6 more transfers in this window, then it will look even better come the end of it, because he doesn't do bad deals, does he?
No, he certainly does not. I saw, and I may be paraphrasing slightly, but I say this because of what you've just said there. This is a very good-looking squad, but did he refer to Casuals as the Globetrotters earlier?
He did, yeah. I mean, it looks very good on paper, doesn't it? Yeah, he's gone from looking solid to all of a sudden he's got Varane creating, he's got Ronaldo, who might not do it at AMC, but he's a good player. And
Vieira is a loss to anybody, but I think Casuals have enough in terms of bringing in decor. Sorochinski. I mean, I'm not saying that he's in the same cat of the fish, but everyone knows I'm a fan of Cambiasso. He can certainly do a job. He's proven he can do a job. They've also got, who was the other one I noticed? Sorochinski, we mentioned there in the starting 11 as well. They have got options in that holding midfield to cover the loss of Vieira.
Yeah, they were very, very strong in that defensive line, defensive midfield line and defence. And he was lacking creativity. So the fact he's got Varane in there, if he starts firing, then Clivert will start firing. And yeah, it goes from a very solid looking team to a very good looking team. I don't think the Globetrotters though. I think the AM line's pretty weak. Clivert hit and miss, so it's not like it's a world beating team. It's just very fucking solid, and it's got Varane signed one of it now.
Let's assign some numbers here, and we didn't even mention Zambrotta there either.
Yeah, I think he'll on form. Zambrotta just creates goal. He's an assist machine when he gets going, so it's another good move, I think.
A score prediction, please.
I think I went 2-1 Burn on this one, and I'll stick with that just because I'm here and I've said
it. Well, we've kicked this game off. Fiore goes in the book. Unlucky opportunity by the home side, but a chunk of time flies by with not much happening. Casual still looking slightly more effective. Not much in it though. Burns starting to create a couple of chances themselves. Sigalko putting the latest of those wide, but not the second time. 40 minutes on the clock. Sigalko gives Burn the lead. Jeremy's goes into the book just before half time. Casuals were certainly in it, but Burn just that little bit busier.
Yeah, it's pretty even. Burn edged it slightly, and when you are even with Burn and they've got Sigalko up front and he's playing well, you're in trouble.
completely agree. Evening, Martin, who has joined. Let's have a look at the home side first. Just 6s and 7s throughout. It's actually not bad numbers, but in terms of the individual stats, but the ratings just suggesting that Burn are making casuals just that little bit ordinary tonight.
Yeah, they're busy, aren't they? They're just not very good. No, lack of key passes is probably the thing that sticks out to me looking at that quickly. You've only got Roberto that's played a pass that's looked like creating anything, so that's his issue there.
Jens asked how the last match went. That was the Dragons game that ended 3-2 to Dragons. So Ronaldo's going up top, Lopez central. Just confirm if you want the arrow, please, Haji, because actually probably won't because he didn't have it on to begin with. I'll just wait for that clarification. So it looks like a tactical swap for the second half with 1 behind 2 instead of 2 behind 1.
Yeah, it makes sense. Ronaldo, he's not an AMC. He's a striker, so it makes sense. It could make a difference, you know. That could make a difference. It's a small tweak, but it could make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. No arrow requested. And quick look while I flash up this comment by Rox. Zambrotta sitting on a Vespa at right wing back, winking at the ladies in the crowd while smoking and saying ciao a lot. Ian's already said as is, so we're just Dragons of class, aren't they? Says Jens. Yes, they certainly are. Yeah, Ian's already said as is, so we'll just have the stats up there just for a moment, and let's resume the second half, see if the tactical change offers the home side any way back into it. Goal disallowed. Lopez was offside. And now Paulo Montero on his debut goes off injured.
Not what you need.
I'll prepare the Martin Lawson sub and wait for Ian to approve it. But that is a big loss, and Ian will be hoping that's not a long-term injury.
Yeah, it's even worse when you consider that he's going to spend a few weeks on the sideline and then come back and get sent off as well. So won't see him again, really.
Your thoughts on this comment?
Overrated, maybe, but still very good. I certainly wouldn't break the bank to bring him in like some people do. But yeah, he's very good. I think he's spoken about more than he should be, though.
Swap the centre backs over. There we go. Fuck the Dragons, says Macca. Martin, even I know you're talking shite there. Let's resume the action then. 10 minutes until the tactical break. Casuals have had that goal crucially disallowed. 62 now on the clock. The core goes in the book, joining Soroczynski. Looking at the subs bench, I mean, there are options there, but what exactly does Hodgie do, if anything?
I would just stick an arrow on Lopez, is all I would do. Maybe move the wingers forward. But he's got his best players on the pitch, in my opinion. You could put Comandini on from Ronaldo, maybe, to see if you can grab a goal.
Jan suggesting delete Maxim from the database.
I'd be behind that shout if we ever redrafted. Maybe not while Ian's managing, though. That would be a bit unfair to Edwards if we just delete him now.
Just sold him off because nobody wanted him in the league.
Yeah.
Comandini for Lopez and go free up top, please, is the shout. As for Northern Burn, do we envisage any changes here?
Not usually. From Ian, he might bring on Chunsu for Scally, maybe, and I don't know, and swap him with Cure. But yeah, he's probably not, to be honest.
We will wait confirmation. Does he react to the fact that Hodgie's gone free up top? Obviously, as the away side, Burn have that advantage of seeing the substitution done first. I don't think. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Too many late nights doing transfers, as is, says Ian. So let's resume the action. 63 minutes on the clock, still 1-0 to the away side, who have now. And it's 2. Sigalkova's 15th goal of the season. Darren's for 6, say it out loud. Darren's for 6, play Greasy. Full-time whistle goes, and it's Casuals 0, Burn 2. A fairly even game settled by the unstoppable force.
Yeah, well, it's what I said at half time, isn't it? If you're even with Burn and Sigalko's playing and he's playing well, then you're fucked, and that's what's happened there. But Hodgie will be disappointed because he's brought some players in to make him be more creative, and he's only got 4 shots on target at home, so he'll be annoyed with that.
Yep.
And he's still not found. I think he's been struggling for a few weeks now. He's not found something that's going to work long term. So yeah, he'll be scrambling about now, thinking, "What can I do?"
He won't panic though. He's been in these sorts of situations before.
No, he's very composed, and I'm sure he's got some good tactic files behind up his sleeve, hasn't he? He's got teams with mad winning streaks and stuff like that, so he can just go back and pull out a tactic file, and he'll probably be absolutely fine.
Duggan saying Greasy has absolute Maxim PTSD, explains the state of his offers since. That deal alone, Duggan, negates any opinion Greasy has anything about. Knows anything about this game. Ronaldo is a bin man. Lots of talk about 2 strikers who've had completely differing games time. I mean, the proof there that Chiotis rated a 9 in goal says that Casuals are in it, but as you said, when you've got Sigalko, you can't equal Burn, you have to be better than them.
Yeah. Is Chiotis playing well all season? Because I know he said he'd put him in and see how he did, and he looks like he's still there, so he must be doing well. He is. Yeah, very good ratings from him, and he's not a season 1 keeper, as most people know, so that's, yeah. It's probably one of the areas he looked at the start and thought, I'm weak, but it's working out very well for him so far.
It certainly is, and congratulations to Northern Burn. That takes us, I believe, to Gazelles next. We've seen Martin is here. They host the Badgers. And Martin has kept the same tactic. Crucially, it's the signing of Saviola playing in behind Pizarro.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. He's probably on a free roll. I don't think Martin will divulge, but just to play out Saviola with no arrow there is nuts if he's not. He's a striker, but it's an interesting signing. He's a very good player. He has really good patches of form. I've not seen him do it like for a full season or 2 in the Super League yet, but he's certainly one I would like to have about if I had the chance. Mendieta at the right wing back's a bit of a waste.
I have a feeling that is. Oh, I thought that was because of an absentee, but no, it's not.
No, I think they plan to play wingers maybe again. Otherwise, I'd be if they are going to stick with something like this, then they need to be in the market for right and left wing back, don't they? Because Neville and Mendieta is not your answer really. But yeah, Gazelles so far have been obviously brilliant at the start, really shit for a bit, and then they've been up and down since. So still a dangerous team. Got some good players.
I'm glad someone did, Ian, because I also had this on the Fools Rush In podcast on Monday, and none of them noticed that I didn't have my usual at Fyfie07 showing, and I decided to do something a bit more creative. So thank you for noticing, Ian. I appreciate that, and I'm all the more happy for your result now. Let's have a look at the Badgers, who I have to say have had something of a sublime window all in all. Who's messaged you something that's making you laugh?
I don't know if I can show it on the screen, but I've just received a picture of Steve's left nut in his hand. And it is the saggiest, veiniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to show it, but it's
that's
brilliant.
fine. So they have lost Zanetti, they have lost Samuel, they have lost Bruges. Less concerned about Almeida, but they have brought in. I mean, I'm personally very excited to see Van Bronckhorst and Dyer reunited. Obviously,
I like the business Tato's done. He stole Rustico, which was robbery for, was it Almeida or something crazy like that. Rude, I know he was after the top striker, and Rude was on his very short list, so he's got to be happy with that one as well. And Dyer's
what's interesting though is Palermo's obviously come in on loan during the cup as well. And he doesn't get a lot of opportunities, I feel, in the Super League. If he's given a run, I believe he's a very capable striker. So they've gone from playing, and I say this with the utmost respect, Davidov and Ficini to Palermo and Van Nistelrooy. It's just a completely different class of animal.
Yeah, completely agree. Palermo is one I liked a lot, but he let me down massively at Churchtown. I put my eggs in his basket, and he made fucking the shittest omelette I've ever had in my life. He got five sixes. He got 5 6s in his first 5 games. Did absolutely nothing. No assists, no goals. And after that, I got rid of him. I think I loaned him out. He went to the reserves. But he was supposed to be the main man for me that season. So yeah, I don't like him anymore just because of that.
Rock's just asking who Badgers had let go again. So I'm just showing that very quickly. Very Tato-esque formation. So you've got the two there, Rustico and Lasisi, I like a lot in front of Frey. Van Bronckhorst partnering Kaladze, I think, is a very capable holding midfield partnership. How the piss has he pulled that business off, says Rocks. Dyer playing in the right wing-back position. Slightly imbalanced. Agahawa playing out on the left wing, where a lot of people questioned it a few weeks ago, but he's been doing bits for Tato out there. Van der Vaart in the centre on his own. The interesting one for me, Louis Zhao playing the supporting role behind Van Nistelrooy and Palermo.
Yeah, it looks like Tato's having fun this week. So if you've got that fun, serious barometer, he's had fun this week. He's got some good players in, and he's gone and done this. So it'll probably work. But like you say, Louis Zhao there doesn't make sense really. To play asymmetric on the wings doesn't make sense to me. I quite liked it when he did it with the AM and the 2 strikers. I quite like that, but I don't like this shape. Agahawa is a good player on the left wing, so I've got no problems with that at all. I think he's a good player. But I really like Agahawa.
Let's allocate some numbers here. Oh no, hang on. That's fucking horrible. There we go. That's better. Rustico is being installed as captain. I believe for the final time, a score prediction.
I think I went away win. I'll say 1-2 again. That's my stock scoreline, in case you haven't guessed.
Yes, much like Smuts predicts 1-0 to the home team every week, you just seem to predict 2-1 to somebody.
That is exactly how I do it. Yeah. It worked last season. I did win it last season.
You did indeed. You certainly did. Steve, Simon was Samuel concede 5. Galka gives Gazelles the lead. All the Badgers are pressing forward. Are they leaving spaces at the back? Nedved with the opportunity. Martin saying Mon the Gazelles. Oh, big opportunity there for Van Bronckhorst just before halftime. But we go in at the break with Gazelles 1 up. And it's a very even game back. Tato will be looking at this, thinking his side are very much in this, Dimble.
Yeah. The Tato's not having fun now, so he'll switch back to normal formation and he'll take Lujal off.
Might say, Christ, that was stressful. Let's have a look at the home side. Jens here saying Galka's a great shout from Gazelles. Love signing him back in the day. The man himself has scored the goal and is looking busy. He's completed his passes, he's winning his tackles, and scored a critical goal.
Yeah, he's one I didn't know about. Looks very solid. he looks like your kind of home save DMC that puts up numbers, and I suppose he's not actually doing very well, is he, in terms of ratings, but my impression of him so far is that he was doing okay, and he looks fairly solid. I think there's probably like 40 better DMCs in the league, though.
The crucial thing that the Badgers will be looking for is they'll want to keep this low. The three main protagonists for good stuff, it's not really clicking for them at the moment.
Yeah, it's not clicking. I wonder what he'll do. Is he here tonight?
Martin's in charge tonight. Yes, it can. There you go. As for Badgers, no, let's try and do this properly. Here are their Van Bronckhorst there looking. He has shown up on his debut. He is doing more than just about anybody else on the pitch for Badgers. They might as well just let him shoot on sight as well.
Yeah, he's a very tasty player. I like him a lot. I did ask about him several times, and I received one response, maybe. It was very hard work, but I did a deal with Al today, though. It was madness, absolute madness. I've had a day where I've done a deal with Alf and a deal with Rob, and
Incredible.
I've received 0 responses from them in the last 2 years.
Other than a change of captain, neither side making alterations until 60. Badgers come forward again. There's Nedved, Mendieta. Oh, and a big chance again. And Gazelle score through Petrov, who runs up to the director of football and kisses where the armband was in the first half. Says, have some of that. Barthez rating a 9. He's pulled off some saves in this game, particularly in the second half. And he looks like he's going to prove vital in a victory. Yeah,
I love Petrov. I asked about him again, but I wasn't willing to give up loads for him, so I was never going to get him really. But he's one did really well for me at Churchtown. Barthez is obviously such a class, and he suits the way the Gazelles are. They like to kind of keep it pretty even, pretty tight, and try and make a goal. And it's working really well for them so far.
Ian Edwards, glad to hear it's not just me Rob ignores.
No.
And Martin enjoying a stint back in the dugout. Tato just text saying he's definitely not having fun now, if anyone's asked. And then there's Ian as well.
We need some kind of graphic that swings between Tato's having fun and Tato's not having fun. I think Doug will be able to sort that out. I really enjoyed his 0 days since Campbell complained earlier.
So no changes there. As for Badgers, Van Bronckhorst still on a 9, Kaladze on a 9 as well. So the holding midfielders are doing okay, but they are conceding goals.
Yeah, I think just busy. They're wondering what's going on either side of them, because one of them stood really close and the other one stood really far away. They're just confused, but busy. Push
Louis out to striker and swap him with Davidov. Palermo off for Fuccini. Cheers, lads. Now you can do against a 9 keeper, to be fair. Decent performance from us. Stico and Myth, happy to see him fail, says Martin. Let's see if those changes can get Badgers back into this. Make a fight of it at least.
Rustico is a Super League winner, by the way.
He is. Not just a Super League winner, but a Super League winning captain as well.
Exactly.
And there's one, it's Van Bronckhorst. Shit, fuck. And suddenly we have an exciting conclusion.
Game on.
I just win a corner. Van Bronckhorst whips it in.
Middle.
It's another corner. Barthez gathers it, and now it's out for throw-in. They are under pressure here, the Gazelles. And it's off the bar from Fuccini. 1 minute left. Have they got one last chance in them? But it's Nedved, Rivaldo. Freid as well. It's a corner to Gazelles. Pizarro! And he has wrapped the game up for the home side. And, well, Badgers made a fight of it, but Gazelles were just too good tonight.
More clinical, yeah. Good performance on Gazelles, very clinical, which obviously helps. Your keeper's on a 9, which obviously helps. Very good all round. Badgers came into it strong there, and it took a good defensive display as well to see him off.
It certainly did. A very, very entertaining fixture all round. Man of the match going to Nedved. He got an assist tonight. He had a few attempts on goal. Decent pass. Well, very good pass.
Phil Neville 9. That's got to be applauded. Anyone get a 9 out of Phil Neville needs some kind of award.
And also, how it was mentioned earlier, superb performance that from Gazelles. As for Badgers, let's have a look at their stats. Van Bronckhorst, the absolute pick of the bunch, really excelled on his debut. GVB a monster. I think he will do very, very well at Badgers, that is for sure. Well played, Gazelles. Unlucky Tato. Double swap, got the game back alive, certainly did. Some decent performances, though. I think Tato can take some heart from this, Dimble.
Yeah, I think Rustico's, he needs a season or two to get ready, I think. He's going to be okay until season 3, but he's definitely worth sticking with. Yeah, very happy with Van Bronckhorst. Rude's got an 8 on his debut. Dyer's got an 8 on his debut. So, yeah, there's some positive signs there from Badgers. It's just on the night, they came against Bartes and the clinical team.
It's worth noting Tato's comment there. As if the transfer window wasn't enough excitement at the conclusion of this game or this set of games, the reserve swaps do come in as well. You'll get to see all your reserves in your packs. And obviously you've seen a number of them up close in the Cmsl Cup as well. So hoping to see a few squad alterations. And with no Australia games scheduled anytime soon, I'm sure Mr. Savage would love to see a few more that might then drop down again, get some game time in the first team ahead of the World Cup. Now talking about Ryan.
Must be a turbulent time to be the Australia manager, because I imagine there's going to be a fair few swaps and a fair few players stolen.
Yeah, Mike's every day. Mike's looking at his squad, and then I announce the transfers. And he just went shh.
Yeah, nightmare. But at least he's enjoying it, and it's really good show that when you put that on afterwards. Really enjoy that.
Congratulations though to Gazelles, who pick up a huge 3 points here this evening, and that I believe takes us to East Coast at home to Celtics, and the home side are up first. So while I swap the banner over here, then we'll talk us through. First talk us through the transfers that you have had concluded. Mendes de Silva and Petkov in from Fulchester, and Mark Kerr in from the Celtics.
Yeah, so MDS and Petkov, 2 players I like, weren't getting played at Fulchester, so that was a easy deal to make with Macca. MDS was kind of a late add-on to that one. It was a 2-for-1, it turned into a 3-for-2. Matt Holland was probably heading to the reserves, and Greavesy knew I was interested in taking Kerr, so it was just one that made sense for both of us. Kerr's not the world beater at this time, but I'm hoping he'll develop nicely, so I'm interested to see how he goes. I think he could be dangerous when he gets going. That's it so far. I've done 3 more since, which will completely change the way the team looks, in my opinion. This tonight doesn't look great, but
I think it looks decent.
Yeah, it looks decent. But I just think the team I will put out in the next week or the week after will have a different feel to it.
Okay. Do you want to select captain?
I think Toldo's had it recently, so just keep it with him, please. If it stays with him. It was Campbell originally, but I think Toldo has been the man recently.
Any particular numbers?
No.
Okay. As for Celtics, they have added in Effenberg from Fulchester, Beckham's coming from Triple P, Matt Holland signed from yourselves, and the big signing was a goalkeeper, Taibi, coming in from Rose. They have lost Kerr, as you just spoke about. Emerson went to Triple P, we saw earlier. Joe Cole, we also saw earlier. And we saw Carew, so all the players that left seeing game time this evening. He's keeping his standard formation. Maldini and Stam are the preferred centre-back partnership anyway. Do they look a bit stronger with Taibbi between the sticks, though?
Yeah, that looks better. If he's sticking with this formation, the deals he's done make sense. I would have kept Emerson, but I understand obviously Beckham is perfect for that role, so that's why he's done that. Morientes, he did a few weeks ago. I think he can be a dangerous player, especially when he's got someone good alongside him. Effenberg, obviously, he loves him from his title-winning days. So yeah, good business from Greavesy so far, and I can't believe he's not done more, if I'm being honest. Because he's usually the first one, isn't he, to blow his load?
Well, indeed.
The Matt Holland one doesn't make much sense, but I suppose he covers kind of 3 positions in that team on the bench, so that's probably why he's done that one.
As is customary, I won't ask you, and Greavesy isn't here, so I will just wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
We kick off the first half, and Anelka with an attempt inside the first minute fails to convert. Celtics coming forward now themselves. A pulsating start to this game from both sides. Latest opportunity for Coast goes wide. Free kicks being issued all over the shop. Good job the referee's keeping his cards largely in his pocket. And then, wow, another debut injury.
Yes, disappointing, but it's okay. Petkov, please.
Petkov comes on in his place. And there is Petkov. And Brožek scores a complete fluke to give Coast. But there's Beckham on his debut to level things up just a minute later. And we reach half time. Petkov got involved in ball, and then out of absolutely nowhere, Brožek scored a fluke, but it lasted no more than 60 seconds.
Yeah, I saw a comment on the wind there, and it says gusty, so I imagine there's going to be a couple of those goals yet. Yeah, at this point, I thought I was in control early, and then lost it a little bit. I presume it was a Beckham free kick or something like that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes second half.
Let's flash your stats up there on the screen. Solid, if not spectacular.
Yeah, that's been us all season, so I'm not surprised to see that. Cordoba was on a 5 when it flashed on the injury, so I'm happy to see him back up to a 6. Yeah, I'm not going to be making any changes right now, so roll for me, please.
We'll just briefly bring this up. David Beckham there on debut getting a 9, and just to clarify, yes, Beckham struck the free kick through the wall and into the net.
Bastard.
Let's resume the action and go to 60. There's Morientes with the first attempt of the half. Celtics looking busy early on. And we've reached the hour mark. So we pause the game there. 62 on the clock. Under a little bit of pressure at the start of the second half, Dimble.
Yeah, it looks a bit edgy, doesn't it? I am going to make a change. Can I take Brožek off for Biscan and swap it with Petkov and swap it with Vogel? And I'll leave it like that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's easier than typing it out.
Isn't it? And again, we'll just flash the figures up on the screen there for Greavesy when he watches back. That Tortuga 11 is an absolute Galactico on paper, isn't it? Says Jens. Half an hour then gone. Changes made. 3 times better than the Loco team that won it. Big statements there from Jens. Should 100% be challenging for top 3, says Ian. Now Shevchenko, Effenberg, Morientes. Cordoba gets in the way. Now Vogel out to Baumer. And Anelka off the bar. Into the final 10. Final 5. Campbell, Mendes, Silva, Bishkan. Mendes, Silva again. Baumer out wide. Moving into injury time. Here goes Petkov. It's a yellow card. I believe that's for Davids. Into injury time. final whistle goes. I'm afraid then we have to settle for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think I edged it slightly, but it's another point on the board. A bit disappointed, but we'll take it and we roll on to the next one.
Did you feel, before you saw the stats on the balance of play, did you feel you deserved to win it?
Possibly, yeah. I think there was a bit of a rough spell to start the second half, but apart from that, I thought I was quite comfortable. I haven't got like loads of creativity in the team. Kerr, I was hoping would pop up off the ball, kind of further up the pitch, but he obviously got injured early on, and then after that, you just got functional players again. So it's like, what more can you do than look solid? Hopefully, with Ortega coming in and Larson, hopefully we can kind of change the way we are a little bit.
Okay. Toby gets man of the match on debut. Pretty much tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, thanks for that, Steve. Cheers, mate. Yeah, I knew it'd go one way or the other. I was thinking it's going to be a 5 or it's going to be a match-winning performance. So it's kind of in between, I suppose. But yeah, man of the match says it all, really, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And that takes us back to what will be the final game of the night. Vikings at home to Triple P. So let's just change that banner again. Back to Vikings Triple P. And a quick refresh of the team news, and we'll get straight into kickoff. Penza partnering Smith in the new revolutionary Vikings tactic. Triple P lining up with Crespo at the very top of the pitch. I don't think we got as far as a prediction from you.
I went 2-1 home win.
2-1 home win. Let's kick off the final game of the evening. And an early injury, and it's a big one. Roy Mackay going off. Is Rob still about? When did I last see him comment?
I'm not sure, but I love to see a bit of Romario. Very, very happy to see Romario come on.
Oh, another transfer window where the teams that were strong then had a wobble have now strengthened and pulled away again from the have-nots. I don't think that's quite how it played out.
It might work out that way, but yeah, we'll see. I was a bit shit, and then I got better, and I was shit again tonight.
Nothing from Rob, so we'll bring Romario on, I think, and resume the action. Injured in the first minute changes the game plan entirely. Fyfie check the manager's Fred. And Vikings take the lead through Penza on his debut. And Alan Smith makes it 2.
Smudge.
And there's 3 to the Vikings. They are tearing them apart. Typical, says Rob, who now rejoins the chat. And Crespo has scored. So both Penza and Crespo have scored in this fixture, like Alf predicted. And at half-time, Dimble, it's 3-1 to the home side.
Yes, it's been tight again, but one team's been clinical. And yeah, the fact that both of them scored isn't surprising, is it? It's kind of the thing you expect. It'd be really annoying to Rob, though, because obviously Crespo was doing okay anyway, but then Penza was doing nothing, and he's come straight back and scored. Really fucking annoying.
So the record from Penza was 2 goals and 1 assist in 11 starts. He's already got 1 goal in 45 minutes for the Vikings, whose stats we have up on the screen there. There's not a great deal to say. They just like to get a little bit more service to the front 2, I think.
Yeah, it's not much in it, is there? They're playing a bit shit at the back, but maybe not been tested. Good performance from Totti, which will very much please Jens. Yeah, it's solid. Not in much danger either, so I think it'll just be a bit of a roll from Jens and let it play out.
6 is dotted throughout the squad for Triple P, and Molina rating a 5, about as average as it gets.
Yeah, it's poor, isn't it? Petit's obviously going to do his job no matter what. He's a hard cunt. He's a great player, so he's going to keep turning up. But everyone else has been terrible.
Maka, it's a fastest man. So many teams are overpowered. Let's just remember that the Vikings were predicted by most people to be in the bottom 2 before any transfers were done. So it goes to show, if the effort's made, you can actually turn these things around. Rob saying as is till 60. I've not seen anything from Jens yet. Well, I don't think I have, unless I've missed it. No, nothing from Jens yet. There we go, till 60, red card and a 3-4 klaxon, he says. So both teams going unchanged until 60. Big opportunity that to make it 4. And it's 3-2. And then all the time flies by. So we pause it on 68 minutes. And again, we have got a tight conclusion in store here, Dimble.
Yeah, 2 keepers not performing, 2 new strikers doing the business. It's nicely poised for the last 20 minutes.
Maka, no effort. You need to take advantage of the... We can't really broadcast that, especially as a double effort of a description, who do the transfers. Maka, you're better than that.
Everyone's all right with the deals when it's them that gets the one that's in favour, but it's just a bit of annoyance and jealousy because I've seen so many go that I would like as well, so it's frustrating, but it's going to happen.
While we just wait for Jens, Rob has already suggested his changes, but we'll just bring his condition up, having left the ratings there for a moment or two. 2 up top with Romario and Crespo. Alessandro in the hole. There we go. Any additional changes, though, Rob, personnel-wise? You're right, Fyfie. A better choice of words required, but the point remains. Rob says thanks. Ooh, Star Friends. Have I missed anything from... no, that was Jens's till 60. Nothing else from him since. We'll give him 30 more seconds. And that, right, who wants a handshake? May as well loan me Samuel for the season, Steve. Shut up, because we have one. Like I do have a starlet. It's just I don't know if I can get this in the camera. It's just there. There's my star. As is, please, says Jens. So let's resume the action. 71 now on the clock, and it's 4-2. Vikings not even letting me slow this game down. Into the final 10 minutes. Should have been 5 there. It is 5 now. Alan Smith. Wow. And Penza and Smith both at the double tonight.
Yeah, I know he sent a message asking about Alan Smith earlier. I won't be sending that message now because the price has just gone up. Yeah, that's very clinical. I'm guessing Molina's had an absolute fucking shocker in goal for PPP because 8 shots, 5 goals is not good. Yeah, Vikings, it's one of them games, it's like a fix-me game. They weren't doing very well. PPP at home, 5 goals, lovely stuff.
Rob Slough is box office again. Let's have a look at the victorious Alan Smith. It is who takes mana. Look at those 9s. Desai, Van Bommel, Totti, and Penza and Smith all rating a 9.
It's a lot of 9s.
And yet Costanzo's still rated a 5. Wow. Incredible stuff. As for Triple P, Molina also rated a 5, along with Roque Jr., few 6s, Salihamidzic and Crespo. Do you know what? I'd even overlooked the fact that Crespo had scored the second goal, if I'm honest, for Triple P. He did his bit as well. So all the new strikers off to a flyer for their new clubs. I'm going to pay someone to hack your Fyfie and delete this SACE. Okay? You're only doing yourself a disservice as well as everyone else, Mac, if you do that. Plus, I have many backup versions saved, as well as ones that I've sent to people for backups, and Dimble's master copy that he sent me in the first place. So, if you do, we'll only go through it all again.
We could just start again and do it all again.
Start again. Congratulations to Vikings. The second team to score 5 tonight. Well done to them. So the confirmed results, we had Dragons 3, Fulchester 2, East Coast and Celtics drew 1 apiece, Gazelles won 3-1 at home to Badgers, Haggis winning 2-0 at home to Astor, Vikings we've just seen winning 5-2 at Triple P, and then there was a 2-0 away win for Northern Burn and a 5-0 away win for Bostock Stanley. That leaves the table looking like this. Northern Burner at the top on 30 points. East Coast remains second, 3 points behind now, 27. They've got a 2-point gap to Bostock and Vikings on 25. Gazelles back in the top 6 on 24. Casuals 23. Fulchester a point outside, as are Haggis on 22. Celtics 3 points outside the top 6 on 20. Dragons join Badgers on 19 points, just 4 points below the dotted line. Triple P 15 points, starting 8 points. Are we starting to think they're getting cut adrift? Then White Rose 13 and Astor remain on 10. The next set of fixtures, which will be on Sunday, comms available. If you are interested, please give me a shout. There's only 6 there, which would suggest Haggis's Continental Cup action is about to interfere with everyone's fixtures. So we'll work our way around that, that's for sure. We've got Astor at home to Dragons, Casuals away at Badgers, Fulchester Coast. We'll get your reaction to that in just a second. Dimble, Burn host Rose, Gazelles travel to Triple P, Celtics, Vikings. So yeah, Fulchester at home, Dimble.
I'm going to the C-suite. It's a tough one. He's obviously going to be reeling after that performance tonight. Yeah, it's always a tough one. Mac has always got the better of me so far. I think I won the last game and I probably won one before that. So it's never easy, but I have got the better squad. So let's hope for a win.
They're all in the way. Okay.
I think it's just one game that got moved from what I've seen before. But yeah.
We'll work it out. But no, that's it. While I flash up some player stats here, Dimble, any final comments from you on this evening's action?
No, loads of goals. It was loads of fun. Yeah, loads of action tonight. And happy to be finishing the night in second still, even though they pile up behind me. It's very tight from kind of second to about 11th, isn't it? It should be a good end to the season.
It absolutely should. Thank you very much for joining me. Very, very much appreciate it. Good to have the league action back after the little break for the cup. I do hope everyone has enjoyed the transfer window, which obviously, as we said, it's not shut yet. You've got until game week 20 to conclude any deals. For teams without a loan, you've got till game week 20 to sort your loan out as well. And that is when the window officially shuts for the Super League. And of course, we've still got the knockout stages of the cup to come as well. They come at the end of the month in a few game weeks' time. So plenty more league action to look forward to. First, announce Haggis 0 at the back for the OFC Cup. Well, I might just do that, Rox, because Ian's already said that I can oversee the Haggis team as long as I don't pick any first team players. So I've kind of got my own little Mike Savage challenge going on to if I'm going to get any Continental Cup action. Hit me up while Dan's away for deals. You've got about an hour, says Martin. But no, Dimble, thank you very much. And to everyone else, it's great to have the Super League back to normal. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Thank you for all the appreciation messages I had as well. It's always nice when you're staying up to sort all the transfers that it is recognised. And, you know, probably 50 to 75% of the managers sent me thank you messages or appreciation messages. So thank you back for those. But from me, from Dimble, until Sunday, from Super League HQ, it's a very, very good night.
No,